Hello, my name is Alexandra Janelli with Theta Spring Hypnosis. Today I'd like to talk about anxiety and the way that we see it as behaviorists. Now, I always like to start with my clients telling them a bit about the theory of the mind and how as hypnotherapists we see it. Your mind, and I'm sure many of you have heard me talk about it if you've watched my videos, your mind is made into two parts. You've got the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is the part that is logical, reasonable, it has willpower and deductive reasoning. We utilize this part of our mind heavily each and every day, although, unsurprisingly, it only accounts for about 10% of your mind. The other 90%, however, is your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is devoid of any logic, reason, willpower, or anything like that. Your subconscious mind is purely reactive. And what that means is that in a situation, your subconscious mind is going to react with a behavior, an emotion, or a thought. Now, your subconscious mind, the only two things that it's born with in terms of fear are a fear of falling and a fear of loud noises. Everything else becomes a learned association. So from the moment that you're born until today, you create associations in the mind based on the pain and pleasure principle. Anything that's known to your mind, even if it has a negative connotation, is considered pleasurable because it knows what it is. Anything unknown is considered painful, and therefore the mind will resist it because it does not have an association with what it is. This is why change can be so scary, because your mind has no association for what it's going to happen, what it's going to be like, or what it's going to feel like. Now, if you take the principle on someone who has a fear of dogs, I'm going to explain the conscious versus the subconscious here and how they react differently. Someone who has a fear of dogs created the association in the mind that dogs are bad. Now, from the moment they got either bit by a dog, they saw someone get attacked by a dog, their parents told them how bad dogs were and to stay away from them, or they might have even seen a movie. Somewhere this association was created, and therefore the behavioral response is to run away, get away from it, a nervous, panicky reaction. The subconscious mind reacts, and it protects the person. However, what if this person wants to be around dogs now? The conscious mind recognizes that this association no longer serves a purpose and is irrational. However, because your willpower lives in the conscious mind alone, 10%, it's very hard to create a new association utilizing 10% alone versus the 90%. And so this is where hypnotherapy can really begin to help you, is to get into the subconscious mind by letting go of the conscious mind. That's what happens when you go from the awake state into the hypnotic state, is your conscious mind begins to quiet down and disconnect, and we begin to talk directly to the subconscious mind. Now, bringing it back to the idea of anxiety. Anxiety is alert from your mind that something does not feel right. So instead of being scared and nervous about getting an anxiety or nervousness or worry, I want you to thank your subconscious for alerting you that something feels wrong. But what you begin to do is I want you to begin to recognize, just step back for a moment to go, I'm okay, because from my understanding and the research I've done, no one's actually ever died from an anxiety attack or a panic attack. It's just very frightening because it's unknown. You're not sure what's going on. There's a disconnect between the mind and the body. Your body's reacting, but your mind doesn't logically understand it. Now, people who do get anxiety, what I want you to recognize, there's a wonderful saying, people who live in the past, they get depression. They're unable to let go of things, events, circumstances that have happened. People who live in the future, though, that's where you begin to get worry and anxiety about things that have not happened yet. And when you have a highly imaginative and reactive subconscious mind and a very strong imagination, you can allow your mind to run off with you. And in fact, if you understand hypnosis, it is an overload of information and stimulation to the mind. So you can actually enter into a naturally self-induced, overwhelmed state of hypnosis. And then if you start to think about negative thoughts, they can be very suggestible and you can be very consumed by them. So sometimes I actually have to work with clients to get them out of the hypnotic state before I can actually put them into it. So Anxiety is an alert from the subconscious mind that something doesn't feel right. It's almost like your fight or flight response kicking in. Now, a couple of things that you can begin to do is I want you to remind yourself, you are okay. There's something that's triggering you, and while you might not necessarily know the trigger, I want you to almost imagine taking a deep breath in, and as you exhale, I want you to imagine taking the anxiety and blowing it away so that you can get a little perspective on it. Because when you begin to get a little distance from the anxiety, get it under control, it's a very out of control feeling, but I want you to know you are in control. And the more that you can say, I'm here, anxiety, I'm with you, and you don't deny it, because the more that you deny it and resist it, the stronger it's going to become. It's like swimming in a riptide. Just let it take you a bit. You will end up in a safe place. Let the anxiety come, feel it, acknowledge it, and it will begin to pass. But I want you to recognize you are grounded to the floor. You are grounded with your head upwards. Take a few deep breaths, because what that does, just as smoking is calming, but there's nothing in a cigarette that's calming, those deep breaths are going to begin to turn on your parasympathetic nervous system. It is going to begin to naturally relax you. Fill up with yourself, your confidence. Exhale, feel very grounded. How heavy can you make your body feel? Grab onto something, grab your thumbs, hold. You're there with yourself. You can get through this. Anxiety, it's a fear, but you don't have to let fear control you or consume your mind. You are better than a fear. You are stronger, and it's time to think bravely in the fastest way out of any situation, whether it's an emotion or a thought or a situation, is right through it, and you can do that. So just thank your body for alerting you, but then tell it, I'm in control. I've got this. My name is Alexandra Janelli, and if you're interested, I sell a wonderful anti-anxiety program on my website, thetaspring.com, under the products page. Have a beautiful day.